Hey guys, it's David here, and welcome to Hot Tuck Tapes, where I share my thoughts on RuPaul's Drag Race. Little disclaimer, not a drag queen, not an expert in drag, just a fan of the show who wants to generate conversation with you other fans on the interwebs. Also, spoiler alert, but why y'all acting damn brand new? A few of you guys have been mentioning in the comments that the show seems less gay now that it moved to VH1. I generally agree. However, we did get a few gay moments within the first few minutes of this episode. We had Alexis talking about her sex dream about Shea Coulee. We had an actual video message from Ru in full drag, which has been hard to come by in this recent season. We still do not have a mini challenge in this episode, however. We have Peppermint being decided as the team captain because apparently being the second worst is it makes you worthy of that title. Although I will hand it to Peppermint, her lip sync was sickening. The gif that came with her exploding Cynthia was sickening, so I guess she's worthy of being team captain. I felt for her having to cast people. She did the best she could, giving Nina Bonina Brown the part she wanted. I think that that was wise to steer clear of, displeasing that queen, although then we have an upset Aja and Shea Coulee playing the game very wisely, saying, I will step in, I will take the blunder, I will be the martyr of this season. And the whole editing of this with, the queens arguing and Peppermint trying to mediate, the music building up and then going into the title sequence, I felt like that was a pretty solid moment for the editors. So this being season 9 on VH1, we get right into the challenge. Everything is very quickly edited together because they need to make room for those KY, his and her ads that we love so much. The 90210 girls, listen, I will say full disclosure, I did not watch the show. I was not a fan of it. So read me in the comments if you want, just like you did last week with Snatch Game. But they were not helpful directors. And I have a feeling that they're not the most amazing actresses either. When they were trying to help Nina with lines, it was just so simple to tell her, okay, listen, just like use the operative word in the sentence, emphasize that, and they just could not articulate, like, we don't understand what you're saying, stop breathing in between things so much, or whatever. I feel like if we were to characterize the future VH1 wants for the audiences of RuPaul's Drag Race, we couldn't find better examples than these two guest judges. Between the actual shoot of the challenge and the final presentation, we do have now a well-established part of the formula, the emotional mirror chat, and whereas in the past few weeks they've been discussing LGBT issues, they chose to focus on the queen's experiences with family illness. It was interesting to see that the LGBT conversation moved from the actual broadcast to Untucked. Pheromone talked about her childhood, how she experienced bullying growing up, and it honestly at this point feels like they're almost entirely separate shows. And I'll get to Untucked, I have a lot of notes about that. But before I get to that, let me talk about the main challenge and how I thought the queens did. This challenge overall was really long. It was a lot of material for the queens to memorize and perform, so props to them because I'm sure they were in a really tight time crunch. But I'm not sure it needed to be as long as it was because a lot of the writing seemed to be very filler. I'm not sure that it was all that entertaining. It was giving me some serious community theater vibes, especially that last scene where they're all just standing there in like windowed lines, circa, my jazz class when I was in 7th grade, just delivering their little one-liners. I don't know. I feel like if VH1 is gonna cut so much of the process, why don't they cut a little bit of this long acting challenge? But that said, there were a few standouts. Shea Coulee, unsurprisingly, killed the role she was given. She's a performer through and through. We know this by now. Valentina was very consistent in her role and very believable. I know that I've been standing for Valentina hard, but she's very charismatic. On camera, she was well cast and very likable as her character. Her physical comedy was great. Trinity was loved unanimously by the judges for good reason. She stole the show. Pheromone didn't do too bad either. I really thought that she would struggle with this challenge just going into this week. And although her character was basically just a huge setup for Trinity's moments, Farrah did her job fine. And it was an inoffensive performance. Sasha was an interesting case because I felt like I knew what she was trying to go for when they had her initial version of the role and then those, judges said whatever they tried to say about making the role bigger. I feel like it ended up with this very kind of general middle ground performance from Sasha. Regardless of the bonus moment on Logo with Ru trying to talk acting school with Sasha Velour and RuPaul literally saying, are you Stanislavski or are you Method? Oh, Ru. They are the same thing. I also really liked Alexis Michelle. I thought that she chose a role that was good for her, and it was small, but she made the most of it. They had some reverb on her voice, which definitely helped her. as it has many alpha buzz. Peppermint's very bland performance was far more of a contender for the bottom 3 than Sasha, so I thought that choice was a little odd. But Nina and Aja both definitely deserve to be the bottom 2. As much as I felt for her in the misdirection moments in rehearsal, once it was like the final presentation, it was clear that Nina just does not know how to act. And that's unfortunate. The little like cat fight moment between her and Aja and the one-liners was so cringy. I felt like I was watching Yugi and Kaiba do a duel and give one-liners about their cards. Then we've got the runway, which was big hair, which I thought was a very creative challenge. For this part, I'm going to enlist the help of several of my friends, Miss Genevieve Ramona Love and Bad Karma.
Valentina's she's really pretty and I love that. She has the bell bottoms on with the flowers and I love that old school kind of feel of that. She's a good Spanish girl and I'm like so happy for like the Latin girls, especially on RuPaul's Drag Race, to just be like on there because they've been holding it down for the longest time.
I actually thought Aja's look was sickening. She kind of had me gagging. Shay, I love everything Shay does, but I thought Michelle brought up a really good point when she clocked the swimsuit jacket combo deal, because that is very much Shay's style, and I don't think it's bad, but the same note for Nina in terms of versatility in the looks. I think that's a good point.
Who are you rooting for overall?
Of course, Trinity Taylor and Shea Coulee.
We need to talk about Peppermint for a second. At no point in anybody's makeup should you be applying black eyeshadow with your eye, with your finger.
Blending, she's blending it.
Like,
it's already on there.
No. To all my beginning girls out there, these are not your friends. And I also did not like her runway. Valentina has, you know, her 4 Diana Ross hair. When you got Sasha with her spike mohawk, you know, even Nina with her braids. It was a stretch gown with, you know, basic Shaka Khan hair.
I'm gonna wear that tonight. If Roxy's dress is plain and simple, you best believe her makeup and her hair is not. Peppermint had, it was plain. It was plain.
I highly recommend, if you're not watching Untucked, that's kind of where the real show is now. The entire exchange between Valentina and Trinity, that whole non-confrontation confrontation, Valentina coming for her question being negative, Trinity coming for Valentina not being the one to watch like she thought she was, which I'm not quite sure that was honest. I think she might have meant Valentina at first, and then in an even more strategic way told it Alexis, and then in a more strategic way told Alexis that it was her, because we have found that complimenting Alexis actually at times can be to the other contestants' advantage. I love how awkward the initial trio of Peppermint and Alexis and then Pheromone was. Like, you know, they're dwindling down to the smaller numbers, and it's always funny to see the mixed bag of queens who have to keep each other company while they're waiting for the rest. Then the rest came, and we've got Nina immediately like going to a corner to learn a lip sync. Trinity helping Aja with her pads was a nice moment, although I'm not sure how useful the help was. One thing I was curious about was Trinity's duct tape around her head. Can any of you guys help to explain that to me? Because it just looks like it would hurt a lot. I don't know what advantage duct taping has over wearing like a wig cap, pulling it back in some way, but that looked painful. We got a great lip sync out of this week, in my opinion. My friends thought that it was a little lackluster given the song choice of Finally.
Lip sync for your life. That was quite boring. She was jumping around, she was having fun with it, but it got to the part, you know, she waited way too late to do that spin and splits. Way too late.
Her elimination leads me to like my largest point regarding the difference between Untucked and the actual show. When she exited in the show, she doesn't have any like one-liner when she leaves, and they really cut her last little goodbye interview to seem that she was super bitter and she came off as kind of a bitch. And then you go and watch her farewell in Untucked, and she seems super likable. She seems like she made good bonds with the other girls. She even gave Nina Bonina a huge pile of her clothes. What are they trying to do? Is WOW trying to make Untucked an essential part of viewing the episodes so that people will say, oh, you don't know the full story, you've got to go watch Untucked, and they'll get people to run over and watch them on YouTube too? Is it just a coincidence that that's what the editors have deemed worthy to be on the actual broadcast and the rest is just left for Untucked? I'm not quite sure about this, but it's definitely starting to become very visible to me that they're different shows. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And let me know your thoughts about this episode in general. Who were your favorites? Who were your least favorites? Do you think the right decisions were made? If you like this review and you want more videos from me, you can click that little subscribe button down there. You can give this video a thumbs up. One of my videos will pop up on the screen and you can watch it if you like. And other than that, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye.
I'm not wearing nails, so don't get that. Edit this. Edit this.